I'm so tired of these ads.
Whoa, who are you?
I'm Big Pharma. We spend a lot to get into your living room. Over $18 billion a year. Selling medicine you can't even get without a prescription. All that spending buys off the media and drives up prescription costs for you. And that's why there are only 2 countries that allow us to advertise. Cheers.
Learn more at bustbigpharma.com.
Got any nachos?
Rob Burgess joins us. Look, that's a very effective ad. I think it's kind of going viral. But give us the background of that ad. What $18 billion is kind of shocking to people. Is that what they spend just on television a year? Is that what they spend across all media? What is that number?
So that number is all media, television, radio, newspaper ads, digital advertising. This is a systematic problem here in the United States and in New Zealand. We are one of 2 countries that allow direct-to-consumer advertising by Big Pharma. And what it's actually doing is it's underwriting big media. And so we're not getting the true coverage of this issue. President Trump has led the issue on this for a long time, and that's part of the reason why Americans for Pharma Reform exists, is we want to amplify taking back control of our healthcare. We want lower drug costs. We want to hold Big Pharma accountable. And at the end of the day,
aren't you? Hang on, Rob. Rob. Hang on. Aren't you just a collection of anti-vax wingnuts? Isn't that what you're doing this and you're saying we're going with the Big Pharma, everything like that? But at the core of it, aren't you just a bunch of tinfoil hat anti-vax wingnuts, sir?
No, we're actually not. We've got some hospital group systems involved. We've got grassroots donors. We've got people who are actually concerned about too much pharma influence in media. We've got people that are concerned about too much media influence in pharma. But a huge chunk of our supporters are people that are sick and tired of the control that pharma has over our elected officials. We ran a nationwide poll, Steve, just 2 weeks ago. 5,000 respondents. And one of the questions that we asked them was, would you be more likely or less likely to support and vote for a candidate who accepted money from Big Pharma, even if you had previously supported them in the past? 75% of Americans, regardless of partisan lean, said they would vote against that candidate if they learned that they were taking money from Big Pharma. This is an issue here in this country, and it's going to be a bellwether issue in the midterms this year. I know you're watching things like that all the time.
So, Rob, because we monitor so our audience doesn't have to, and we usually do cold opens, a combination of MSNBC and CNN. And MSNBC, honestly, is 2/3 of it if we're putting up these type of things. So it's constant monitoring of these 2 networks. And what has shocked me over the last couple of years is MSNBC is absolutely, I say it would be a test pattern if you took the Big Pharma ads off. It's so unbelievable. I mean, every hour or every segment, because media, ourselves included, everybody breaks it down by segments. Every segment's got at least 2 Big Pharma ads on these diseases you've never even heard about. I mean, it's so bizarre. And plus the antidepressants. I mean, the people that watch those shows have got to be so anxious and depressed. It's incredible. But literally, and particularly with the spinoff coming, where NBC and Comic are kind of shoving it off, I guess with the Golf Channel and some Weather Channel, some other things, they're so dependent upon Big Pharma paying top dollar. I don't know how MSNBC would even exist without the Big Pharma ads, sir.
I 100% agree with you. Our analysis is that stations like MSNBC, CNN, they rely on at least 31% of their ad revenue to come from Big Pharma network-wide. That number only increases when you get into some of what they call their flagship shows in the mornings and the afternoons. And so it very much is a situation that they are so reliant on this money in order to keep the lights on, to pay their talent. How could they ever be an objective journalistic source against Big Pharma? Now, what a lot of people don't realize, though, is that pharmaceutical companies are able to write their television advertising off on their corporate taxes. It's 100% tax deductible. With profit margins of 40% or more on their blockbuster drugs, that means companies like Pfizer are sometimes receiving tax refunds larger than what they pay in corporate taxes every year. That's despicable. And so you're absolutely right. By turning the screws on Big Pharma by saying we do not want direct-to-consumer advertising to happen in this country, which, by the way, 52% of voters, regardless of party in this country, say they support, including a majority of rural, suburban, and urban women, do not want to see pharmaceutical ads on television. 81% thinks that the industry as a whole needs to be reformed. We have an opportunity to change the narrative in this country. We have the opportunity to put President Trump's America First healthcare priorities in place. And it starts next Friday. We are launching the Ban Big Pharma Ad Bus Tour. We're launching that next Friday. We're going to be in Las Cruces, New Mexico for our first stop, and we are going to crisscross the country over the next 8 weeks, sharing this with voters and holding town halls and answering people's questions about this very important issue.
So what is your ask specifically? Do you want to ban all media? Do you want to go to what the European countries have done? I think Canada's done. What is the ask? Because you're going to politicians. This is their mother's milk. Is big pharma. So you're going to go to the politician and say, "Hey, I got to get you off the big pharma tit." Right? How successful is that going to be? You're asking them to take their primary donors or one of their primary donors and shut it down and not let them, and then say, by the way, you got to vote to support us, and shutting these guys down from literally what's propaganda. It's not news, propaganda on these news channels.
So we've got one of three things that we're asking for, right? Again, we are a group that focuses on putting patients first. We align with the Ad America First message. So we don't want to take away constitutional rights, right? We know there's a First Amendment for a reason. But we do think that Congress should close the tax loophole and stop allowing 100% of these ads to be written off on corporate taxes. That right there will lower the amount of ads by a good amount. The second thing that we're asking Congress to consider doing is to utilize a provision of existing statute that would allow RFK Jr. to levy fees on these commercials. And we're recommending a dollar for dollar match. We think for every dollar that Big Pharma spends on direct-to-consumer advertising, they should be fined or have a fee assessed of a matching dollar that goes to offset Medicare and Medicaid in this country. You saw the number at the top of the segment. Over $10 billion a year are spent on this. Can you imagine if they had to pay a dollar for dollar match, and how we could help fix some tax problems in this country, deficit, debt, Medicare, Medicaid, some of these welfare programs that Americans rely on so heavily? The last thing that we want people to do, though, is to let their voices be heard. That's why it's so important to make sure you go to bustbigpharma.com, right? Let us know that you want to see us on the bus tour, but more importantly, sign the petition saying that you want to ban direct-to-consumer advertising in its current form. That's going to be the information that we share with every member of Congress about why this is so important in their district. Lastly, Steve, I'd love to. We're getting ready to launch the second ad in that series with the same protagonist and a different family talking about a whole different set of direct-to-consumer advertising. We're hoping to launch that here in the next 2 weeks. And if you'll have me back, we'd love to give it to you as an exclusive so you can air it first.
Done. Deal. One more time, where do people go to go to the site and social media, all of it, so people understand? I want to make sure the posse is always best when they fully understand the issue. So we like to inundate them with information so they can make their own decisions. But where do they go?
Absolutely. We need your support at bustbigpharma.com. Again, bustbigpharma.com. And you can find us on all the social media sites. Handle is at bustbigpharma. We're on X, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Truth, we're on Getter. We are proud to be supported by the posse. We will give you as much information as you need, and we look forward to being back.
Thank you, Rob. Rob Burgess. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.